Today we continue with our class Shabbos Home, and we start with, with what? We start with Sefer Chofetz Chaim, and the big topic is, I think, is the same by, I believe, in Rechilus. And today's topic is public revelation and suspicious silence. Okay, public revelation, suspicious silence. If one may not believe Rechilus, even if it was related in public, the fact that the person is unafraid to publicly relate information that is cause for ill will is not proof of its authenticity, right? And certainly not of its accuracy. Furthermore, even if an accusation is made in the presence of the subject and accused failed to respond, one may not interpret his silence as a self-incrimination. The person may have been flustered and at a loss of words, right? Or he may chosen to remain silent rather than to cause escalation of the verbal abuse hurled at him. Okay, so that's very, very important topic. Let's try to understand. So again, one may not believe Rechilus, even if it was said and related in public. Just because somebody is ready to say it in public does not mean it's right. Right? There are many people lie, right, and or exaggerate. Doesn't matter, right? So we cannot believe. The fact that a person is unafraid to publicly relate information that is a cause for ill will is not a proof of authenticity and certainly not of its accuracy. Maybe he's angry with that person, maybe he's upset, maybe he's jealous, I don't know. So he would make a lie, and sometimes people think about it, something like they make up the story in their head, and guess what? It's only a matter of time. I will say just teach them when they going to believe in their own lies. 100%. If you connect it to the lie detector, the lie detector would they would pass. You understand why? Because that's what they do, right? Furthermore, even the accusation is made in the presence of the subject. So at this, I think most of the people will fail when somebody said in the presence of the person whom he's accused, and guess what? The person is silent. So people would, I think most of the people would conclude that that he's right, that's what exactly happened. But meaning his silence is acknowledgement of the issue, right? But the person maybe he's shocked, he's speechless, right? So, or as he chose to remain silent because he knows if I'm going to answer one word, this guy is going to say back 1,000 words. So I better keep quiet, just let it die out here and not to escalate. Right. So again, does not mean what he said is true. Okay, we stop here. Oops. 1 second, sorry. Okay. So we continue with the chapter number 4, and our topic is erasing. And so we said this erasing is for constructive purpose, right? Meaning erasing in order to write on top of it, or we said even if you want the surface to be clean, also it's constructive purpose. Okay, and now section number 2, additional details of the prohibition. A type of the script subject to the prohibition. As mentioned above, the prohibition pertains not only to the erasing recognizable script, but in some instances erasing nondescript marks as well. In this section, we will focus on how durable an existing mark must be for the erasure to be forbidden. So, I mean, even from the beginning, we see several issues. Issue number 1 that we did not learn before, that erasing not even digits and like letters. Everybody understand. Pictures, everybody understand. We spoke about it before, but now they add a new twist. They say non-descriptive marks, meaning what is non-descriptive marks? Maybe a line or something, or ink blot, right? All of these things. So meaning in some cases erasing, or we said like simple shapes also, right? Wavy line or something, right? So it's not considered really anything, right? But we're saying that in some cases it's going to be forbidden. The law governing the Melachah of erasing are related in those governing the Melachah of writing. For by definition, erasing is elimination, that which is written. Thus, it is forbidden to erase any existing marks that is of a degree of the durability that would make writing it forbidden. As mentioned in chapter 1, there are two levels of the prohibition of writing. Under biblical law, it is forbidden to write lasting script. There is to apply durable pigment, such as ink, to the surface upon which it will endure, such as paper. Under rabbinical law, it is further prohibited to write with a non-durable matter, such as fruit juice, and to write upon the surface which the script will not endure, such a vegetable leaf. The same rules apply to erasing. Under biblical law, it is prohibited to erase a mark left by durable matter on a durable surface. Under rabbinical law, it is further prohibited to erase mark left on a non-durable material, as well as a mark left on a surface upon which it cannot endure. See page 43. So before that, for examples, non-durable script. Okay, so let's do this paragraph. It's a lot of information, and we're going to go line by line and explain everything. Beezrat Hashem. And it says, the laws governing the Melachah of erasing relate to governing Melachah of writing. So as we said, yes, those are two separate Melachas, but in a Mishkan, they would when they would make a mistake, writing the number or letter on a plank, numbers and letters the same in Hebrew, okay, on a plank, right? And they would erase and write on top of it another one. So writing and erasing will go hand in hand, okay. Right, because as he said, by definition, erasing is elimination, is what is written. Okay. Thus, it is forbidden to erase any existing mark that the degree of durability would make writing forbidden. So, so same as it was in a Mishkan, they would use a pigment, right, that is durable, right? So from all of the travelers, the traveling, right? From all of the handling, right? So it would withstand all of these things, all right? And this so these letters would last for a long time. So here in this Melachah on the biblical level, what is forbidden is forbidden only when you use like surface on which people usually write. Right, and plus with the ink that usually lasts. Of course, like it fades out, like but like, I don't know how long it time it needs so to like for letters to fade out. Like even if you ever seen like old books, like very old. So in one shul where I used to pray, there were books. More than 100 years old, 120, 150, some of them. Yeah, I saw 1800s. All right, so all of the immigrants that brought the holy text to America. Right, it's very interesting. In this shul, where I go now, after some time they decided like to put in Gniza some like old books, and people started bringing like unbelievable. And in the shul there were very like old books. I mean, I did not know they just would bury them, right? I mean, to sell it to somebody, it's dangerous. You don't know who they're going to buy and what they're going to do with that book. It's very interesting. Many ancient books. Not ancient, 150 years, 200 years old, max. Okay. Thus it is forbidden. So meaning, what I'm trying to say, you see the letters, they fade out, right? Thus it is forbidden to erase any existing mark. There is a degree of durability, so right, that would make writing it forbidden. So meaning, if you cannot write, if writing is forbidden of these things, so meaning erasing is also going to be forbidden. Just 1 second, I'll skip a little. On meaning on the biblical level, if you write on a paper, on wood or something, with something that is durable, under the rabbinic prohibition. So they say rabbinic prohibition means to build fence for us, right? Meaning, if it's not durable, as the example he gives, fruit juice. Right, it's not durable, and plus on surface that is not usually used for writing. I mean, how long it's going to stand there? I say maybe 5 seconds. I don't know, 1 second. I don't know how long. Maybe it's not going to stick at all. The fruit juice on a leaf, vegetable leaf. I don't know. The same rules apply to erasing. Under biblical law, it is prohibited to erase a mark left by durable matter on a durable surface. Ooh, we're talking about mark, right? Not letter or what is it? Not a letter or figure. Okay, picture. Under rabbinical law, it is permitted. It is further prohibited to erase mark left by not durable material, right, as well as a mark left on a surface upon which I cannot endure. So I mean, I think we give, or we're going to give an example, window pane, right? When somebody like a foggy window, right? So somebody would write. So it is not allowed to erase it. Okay. So next one, B, prohibited methods of erasing. It is forbidden to eliminate or destroy a written mark by any means. This includes means that make the script disappear entirely, as well as leave it in place, but make it unrecognizable. The following are some examples. Okay, so before we go to examples, so erasing meaning, of course, I mean, when we say, when you think about erasing, so meaning completely eliminated or partially. So if you erase half of the letter, so now it became a different letter, right? As we learned in what is it, in the Melachah of writing. We said how sometimes a person would write by erasing. So like in English, what is it, the letter J. So if you scratch off, erase the bottom, so it now became I. Very interesting. Right. So continue. Okay. So we said prohibited methods of erasing. Okay. Those are some examples. Okay, number one, rubbing out a mark with the eraser. Right. So I mean that's straightforward, right? So you have some kind of mark and you erase it with eraser. Okay. Number two, washing it away with water, right, or with other liquids. Number three, cutting and tear it apart. So now it's not a complete letter or not complete picture. So it is an erasure. Number four, blotting it out with the ink or white out. Meaning you start like writing on top of it. So also, like in some sense, it was a letter, let's say, and you with you writing on top of it, over it. So meaning that now this letter became not recognizable, right? So meaning what? Meaning that in some sense you erase this letter, okay, or white out. Let's see. Number 5, disfiguring by writing over it. Okay, that's what I mean. Disfiguring, blotting it out. Sorry. So blotting it out, it's actually like completely to cover with the ink or something, substance completely, or white out. And what I just described is actually number 5, disfiguring it by writing over. Okay. Furthermore, just as engraving and sculpting are considered forms of writing, so too destroying an engraved and sculptured figure by chipping at it or adding a clay is considered a form of erasing. In short, any act that changes the recognizable figure so that it disappears or becomes unrecognizable, considered erasing. So let's do this paragraph again. We're going to explain, because it's unless a person learns this from the book, it's not obvious. Right, it's not. Again, furthermore, just as engraving and sculpting are considered forms of writing. So meaning engrave, meaning they scratch something, right? They remove the matter, and now you can see, for example, letters or something. They engrave on a stone or something. Or sculpting. So how do we make sculpture? It's not, I never made a sculpture, but I saw in the video how they make. It's people with a vision. It's unbelievable. These artists, right? So they chip away, like piece by piece, and now you see whatever you see. It's very interesting. So in some sense, it is a writing. Writing meaning creating something, some meaningful image. So when they sculpt in this way, yeah, for sure, it's they create a meaningful image. So to destroying, right, meaning breaking this sculpture or this engraving. So destroying an engraved or sculpture figure by chopping it, so meaning cutting it away, chopping it, at it, or adding clay. So also adding clay. There's a different issue with the clay that you cannot make something like dough, but it's a different story. We're not talking about this. Okay, let's say clay was prepared before Shabbos, let's say, right? So when they would add the clay, meaning they disfigure it. So I think it's number 5, disfiguring by writing over it or blotting it out, if completely covered with the clay. Very interesting. In short, any act that changes a recognizable figure so it disappears or becomes unrecognizable is erasing. So if any act, right? Any act, whatever you do, whether you break off or you add, doesn't matter. So before we did this action, it was one figure. Now it's different. So that's it. So it's erasing. So again, erasing even by adding and by cutting off, still erasing. Okay. So subsection C, and the topic is exclusion. It was explained in the chapter 1 that only the creation of the letter of the figure is considered writing. Placing together several previously written letters to form a word is not considered writing and is permitted. So we discuss this game of what is the game? Scrabble, right? Scrabble. when you put letters next to each other, is it considered writing? We said it's not considered to be writing, but still Scrabble is not allowed to play on Shabbos because of the different reasons. I think we said before, because people usually would write down the score. Okay, so that's the issue. So again, so if you have a letter and if you have a word and all of the letters are separate, if you separate these letters, there is no problem, right? So it's not like you're erasing. It is similarly true that only elimination of the existing mark is considered erasing. Separating, right, attached letters is not considered erasing. So even though it is true, before we start separating, it was a word, right? And now you remove one letter, so it no longer that word, so it's not considered to be erasing. So only when the people do something to one specific letter. Thus, it is permitted to cut a cake between the letters of the word written on a cake, right? So that's the famous one. I mean, as we said before, Jewish bakery don't do that. Simply, I mean, they might write for you, but on a chocolate the plate or something, right? And stick it in, like do it nicely, because what if you decide, like for example, somebody had a birthday, it was a happy birthday cake, right? It was written happy birthday on the cake, and the birthday was on a Thursday. Guess what? They did not finish. They put it in the refrigerator. And now Shabbos, I want something sweet. And you have this cake. And guess what? If they would write on the cake happy birthday, so everybody needs to know how to cut between the letters. Okay. Does everybody know to cut between the letters? I mean, religious people know, but I hope. Okay. However, as explained in chapter 1, attaching molded letters to the base is considered form of writing. It follows that separating molded letters from the base of the form is a form of erasing. Thus, it is forbidden to pull individual chocolate letter off the cake. Okay, so let's do this piece again, and we're going to explain. Moreover, as explained in chapter 1, attaching molded letters to the base is considered to be a form of writing. So now when they attach to a base, so without base there is no problem. They just lay together, right? It follows that separating molded letters from the base is a form of erasing, right? Erasing. So meaning, if they, he said the chocolate letters. I don't know. Pre-made. I mean, even chocolate word. Maybe they made it in the mold or something. So if they just separate only this one letter or the whole word from the top of the cake, leaving all of the cream intact, so that's what would be the issue. Right, so it would be in some sense of erasing. Thus, it is forbidden to pull individual chocolate letters off the cake. So, I mean, if they put it separately. So, section number 3, and it says some application of this prohibition. A. Removing wax, glue, dirt from paper. As stated above, it is prohibited biblically to erase blot of ink for the purpose of writing in its place, right? So that's obvious. Again, so I think we said it's according to some opinion. Not everybody agree, but right. So again, this is I think according to all of the opinions. It is prohibited biblically to erase blot of ink for the purpose of writing in place. Whether it was a wrong letter written or blot of ink, it does not make any difference. So they just erase in order to write something on top. It is similarly forbidden to remove club of wax, glue, dried food, and other adhesive substance from the surface for the purpose of writing in its place. I mean, so writing is forbidden, right? And now if they do what? So if they want to prepare the surface for writing, right? Prepare the first for writing. I mean, today I'm not sure how is it wax is common. Like in olden days when people would use what is it, wax candles, and sometimes actually even today we have a students that said fortunately they disconnect their lights from because of the war. They live in a country where it's still in war, basically, right? So sometimes it's bombing, sometimes it's like a shelling, not bombing, shelling, right? So and they would they would sometimes disconnect the light, right? And these people say, yeah, we buy candles. That's what we do. We buy candles, right? Very interesting. I mean, right? So it's not all the days. It depends on the situation. So this wax, so if you use a wax candle for reading, so it may spill on your on your book, right? And it got stuck, right? And for example, if you want to like remove to write something, some people write on what is it on the borders of the book, not borders, but the edge of the book. What is it called? Right, on the white space, right? On white space, right? So for them, if they would remove this wax or glue or something, or food, right? Sometimes people. Not sure how is it possible, but they eat while they read, and there is a soup in the book, and there is a breadcrumbs and pieces of chicken in the book. That's disrespectful to the book. Okay, so but these things like the adhesive substance. I mean, they glue the pages together, right? Or just stick to the page. Okay, so if person would remove these things. Right. Of course, it's not distinctive marks, nothing, just these things. Right. For the purpose of writing, he would be violation of this prohibition. Removing the adhesive substance is tantamount to erasing because it prepares surface for writing. So, or just for example, if maybe not he is not interested in that specific purpose, but surface, but he needs this thing to make notes. Okay. Removing the adhesive substance is tantamount. Okay, we said 1 second. Furthermore, it is forbidden to remove from a page an adhesive substance that obscure printing words or figure, and to explore the print. So this is a totally different thing. Like when like you're not going to write anything on top, but it covers a letter or half of the letter, and you want to remove these breadcrumbs, right? So you can see clearly what is written under that. So that's a problem. That's a huge problem. Absolutely forbidden, right? So meaning in some sense it's like it was not visible, and now it is visible. So it's in a sense like we wrote this letter. All right, figure expose the print. This too is tantamount to erasing for the sake of writing. Continue. Let me see how long is this. Okay, it is pretty long. And it says, removing the adhesive substance from the writing surface upon which the nothing was written and nothing is intended to be written is not considered form of erasing. So here we have some kind of leniency. So if, for example, if person never writes in these white spaces, I never do, never. Okay, but some people do, and actually somebody sent me a message and explain what it says. And this person, I had to send. I asked permission. This person allowed me. I don't remember if I ever sent it to this group. because how this person learns in the books, all of this all of the white spaces is occupied with the notes. Would write a question, would write a comment, would write I saw it actually in another place as well. One of our students, very interesting. Okay. So that person sent me a question from the book, and you see that they were trying to figure out what it says. Actually, commentary. It's not like a text, but like commentary to the text, and you see all of this writing around. Very interesting. Right, but why did I say that? Because here, if a person usually never does that, so even if a person removed from the white space only, so meaning it does not need to he does not need to do it to open some script. So meaning and he's not going to write on top. So in this case, is not considered to be erasing. So what is he erasing? Just a crumb of bread. Okay. Nevertheless, depending on the texture of the surface and the methods of removal, these might fall under the prohibition of laundering, as explained at length in chapter 12. Okay. Or I would say so laundry. Okay, I mean we're going to see how is it laundry. I'm not sure. But I would say maybe this breadcrumb got stuck very good, so it can rip the page a little. So right, and we're not allowed to tear things. Okay, to tear the things, and it might be I just thinking out loud, even for a constructive purpose. So meaning that they want to tear a thing, but they want to remove this breadcrumb. But this breadcrumb is going to come off only with a piece of paper, right? Even few fibers. That's all you need. So it would be violation of that Melachah, I think. Okay. So next one B. So as we said, few examples. Peeling apart pages. If two pages of the book became attached by adhesive substance that fell between them, for example, particle of food or glue, and the substance obscured the printed area, peeling apart pages and about to erasing the adhesive from the area it had obscured. Furthermore, if the adhesive, if the adhesive does not obscure any print, but by peeling apart pages, the paper will tear, and some print will be distorted. The peeling is also tantamount to erasing. So okay, let's do this this point from the beginning, and we will try to understand. So again, we have a book between two pages, something fell, and now the two pages got stuck together. Okay. So again, if two pages of the book became attached by adhesive, but adhesive substance that fell between them. So it's not like somebody did it on purpose. So if somebody did it on purpose, so it's not allowed, right? So now it was accident, right? So when it's accident, so it's we might have some leniency. Okay, so between them, for example, so what was it? Particle of food or glue? Okay. So glue, even from the factory. I mean, today I have not seen this issue, but in olden days, for sure, some pages would stuck together, meaning they were not cut in between. I mean, not always, but many times it was not uncommon to see that. Right. So again, if the two pages of the book became attached by an adhesive substance that fell between them, for example, particle of food or glue, and the substance obscured the printed area. So the printed area, it's already a problem, right? So if it's on top of the letters, that would be a problem. Printed area, peeling the page apart is tantamount to erasing, the adhesive from the area in that obscured. So meaning, right? So now it was something obscure you could not see. Now you pulled apart, and now you can see. That's the issue, of course. Furthermore, if the adhesive does not obscure any print, so it's on this white area, but by peeling apart the pages, the paper will tear, right? The paper will tear, as we explained, and some print will be destroyed. The peel is also tantamount to erasing, right? So if it's does not obscure any print. So how is it is going to tear the print? I'm not sure. But by peeling apart the pages, the paper will tear, and some print will be destroyed. So meaning that the way I understand what he's saying here, so it is on this white area, right? On one hand, but maybe when they go into when they try to remove this breadcrumb, it's going to tear the page to the printed area. That's the way I understand. Right, so the peeling it also tantamount to erasing. Okay, so let me quickly check time. See how much we can do. Okay, we have a lot of time. Okay, so section C, subsection C, and it says cutting the decorative figure of on the cake. Okay, as explained previously, destroying the letters of the picture, even for no beneficial reason, is prohibited rabbinically. Biblically, only for productive, right, for constructive purpose, but rabbinically, even to destroy. Okay. Thus, if cake is decorated with a frosting in the forms of the words, letters, or any distinct object, it is forbidden to cut cake in a way that deforms the letter or ruin the picture. Right. So meaning that. The only way is to cut between the letters. Between the letters, no problem, because the letter is intact. So the famous question, yeah, but when you eat, you're going to cut. Yeah, that's not a problem. That's not a problem because a normal way of eating, right? So it's not normal way of destroying things, right? When you eat, okay. So. Thus, if a cake is decorated with a frosting in the form of words, letters, or any distinct object, it is forbidden to cut the cake in a way that deforms letter or ruins the picture. So very, very careful. As we said, meaningful picture, if it's a wavy line or something, right, it's not common. But if they have like flowers, that would be a big issue. For example, a cake has a happy birthday written on it. It is forbidden to cut through the letters. So between the letters, yes. Through the letters, not. It is also forbidden to peel the letters off the cake. So that's a different issue, right? As we said, it's like this letter is on a surface. So when it was included with the surface, it's a problem. So if you want to cut if you want this letter, just cut with a little sliver of cream or something. That's it with a sword. There is no problem because you separate. You did not separate letters. You just cut bits of cake. Okay. So the following are, however, permitted. Number one, it is permitted to cut between the letters. So as we said, clear. Okay, between the letters, no problem. Number two, if the letter were cut before Shabbos, but the piece of cake were left in place, it is permitted to separate pieces on Shabbos. So I mean that's also a practical solution, but only if you organized person and you're not going to forget to do that. Meaning they cut the letters, cut the cake even with happy birthday before Shabbos, right? Completely cut, and then put the pieces back together. So it looks like complete, but it's not. It was cut before. So in this case, when you separate this, what is it? When you separate the piece of cake, the pre-cut piece, there is no problem. Even though it looks like the lettuce or a cut like in the middle, there is no problem because it was done before. So number 3, it is permitted to bite into a piece of cake that has a complete letter on it, even though the letter will thereby be destroyed. Only cutting prior to eating is prohibited. So meaning, let's say we have this lettuce, we have this piece of cake in our plate. So and let's say you using fork in order to eat this cake, right? So you have to be careful. So just because it was allowed you to separate from the cake and now it's in your plate, still you're not allowed to cut. And so you have to be careful how you eat it. Like in your mouth, that's a different story. It is allowed. It is not considered to be destroyed. I mean, it is destroyed, but not halachically considered to be destroyed. Right. So, but before eating, it's forbidden to cut, be it on a cake itself, like in a big cake, or in your plate. Okay. So number 4, it is permitted to cut the decorations that are not of meaningful shapes, like a straight or curved lines. Right. So flowers or some other things, of course, would not be allowed. By curved lines, straight lines, no problem. So number 5, it is permitted to cut figures that are baked into the fiber of the cake itself, and it is permitted to cut cake or a cookie that has meaningful shapes. For example, gingerbread man, animal crackers. It is forbidden only to cut letters or figures of another substance attached to a cake. Okay, so let's do this piece because it's a very interesting, a few very interesting examples. Okay, again, it is permitted to cut figures that are baked into the fiber of the cake itself. So now it's not these letters that were added to the base, right? Like how do you make this cake, right? Like cream cake, right? Like a thing with a frosting on top. So first you bake the things, right? And then you add this cream, like in between jelly or whatever you add, right? So meaning these letters were added after that. But if you bake, how would you bake? If you have this what is it called? This form like mold, right? If you have a mold, right, and there will be some flowers on top, like there are different molds. So in this case, there is no problem. You can cut through the flour because it's not only flour, but you cut a much bigger piece. Okay. So again, there was a difference that they were mold. How is it called? How does he call it? It is permitted to cut the figure or cake into the fiber. It is permitted to cut figure that are baked into the fiber of the cake. So meaning it is itself or cookie itself, or you have cookie with some shapes. So this cookie you can break. There is no problem. And it is permitted to cut cake or a chocolate cake or a cookie, cut or break, right, that has meaningful shape. Gingerbread man. I'm not sure why somebody would want to eat man. I'm not sure. And plus animal crackers. I saw somewhere, I don't remember where, but I saw this crackers. Oh, it says they're kosher. I mean, there is no problem. It's just cookies. Did I see it in the store? I don't remember. Maybe it's somebody's house. But basically, there are different animals, and many of these animals not kosher, right? So, is it proper to eat these animal crackers? I don't think so. Just because it's kosher, better to stay away. So, is it a pig there? Maybe there isn't even a pig there. Of course, it's only me Zionist, but Don't right. So don't do it basically. Even though it's kosher, it is kosher. Right. It is forbidden only to cut letters or figures of another substance attached to the cake. Okay. So, but if it's the same substance, it was molded like that, there is no problem. Okay. So number 6, it is permitted to remove leather along with a thin sliver of cake or frosting on which it rests. So now you do not remove leather, you remove piece of cake. So I mean leather in a piece of cake or frosting. So in this case, there is no problem. So section number, what is it? 4. Additional practical applications. A. Opening books that were stamped on the edges. So in olden days, so they had public library, Manhattan Public Library, Brooklyn Public Library. Okay. Open books that have stamped on the edges. Opening. One should avoid opening the book that have a word stamped on the edges of the pages, since by doing so, one breaks apart the words. Right. So you have here the stamp of a library, for example, and then they open. Actually, I saw somebody like long time ago. A person had a big library and he stamped his books. He ordered. I mean, you can order anything you want, right? So he ordered a stamp and he was stamping his books. I'm not sure why. Okay, but doesn't matter. So I mean, it's not only like library book, but some people can stamp their books. Okay. So in this case, so if it says library, so if you open the book, in some sense you break in the letters. Okay. However, so he said again, one should avoid opening a book that has word stamps on the edge, on the edges of the pages, since by doing so, one breaks apart the words. Okay. However, if there is no other copy available, one is permitted to use the book with the stamp edge, right? So, I mean, I'm not sure why would a person have in his house two copy of the book. I don't know. Maybe he bought it from the library, maybe an example like that, and somebody brought it from his home. Somebody bought this book, and now they want to study together. Maybe like that. Right. If one knows that in advance of Shabbos that he will need to use this book, he is advised to place a sheet of paper between the pages and thus breaking apart letters before Shabbos. So in this case, if it was broken before Shabbos, there is no problem. No problem whatsoever. So it's proper to put this paper, but today okay. It's not so common. So next one is B, opening paroches arc curtains. It is permitted to draw a part, and actually it's very interesting. So today we learned with somebody the Mishnah Yoma, right? The laws of Yom Kippur. It's Mishnah. I mean, there's some commentaries, but we try to cover. So we cover Mishnah Rosh Hashanah. Now we go. We cover Mishnah Yoma. So right. So and there it's actually machlokes between the sages, how many curtains there were in covering the Holy of Holies, 2 or 1. It's not so simple. Not so simple. Okay. So if you have two curtains, right, and they have a continuation like writing on top or a picture, like when you close the picture complete, when you pull away, that in some sense you're breaking the picture, so that would be an issue. So again, it is okay. It is permitted to draw apart 2 sides of the split paroches, even if the 2 sides together form a unified design. Right, so as we explained, design like maybe like a picture or writing, right? So it's continuation of the words. I mean, it's not it's not like you break it in the middle of the words or something. No, usually it's not. It is similarly permitted to draw the sides together, so in not be considered that you're writing. This is because the two halves are not attached, right? Two halves not attached. Okay, two halves not attached. It is preferable, however, when there are when two halves form a unified design, to leave them slightly apart before Shabbos, and to avoid closing them entirely on Shabbos. Right? So, I mean, today it's not so common, but it is common. So actually, you see, I said it's not common. In some synagogues, I saw the doors, the wooden doors, like on the rails, and they would have design. So in my shul now, so there are doors, but these people they knew exactly what they're doing. Nothing is written on the doors, exactly zero. And behind the wooden doors there is a curtain, and it's one curtain. Also, I mean, you pull the string and it opens. So it's very interesting. But in some shuls, actually in several shuls around where I live, and so they had a door. They have doors. So now it's Orthodox, but before that they were, I think, Reform. One of them was, what is it? Not Reform, but another one. Well, some also not kosher one. But then these people died out or move out, or whatever happened, and they started to be Orthodox. Very interesting. They were Orthodox. So, but of course, nobody is going to change this Aron Kodesh. It costs a lot of money. Right, a lot of money. So they continue using this design, which is no problem, right? Because the letters are not attached, but they for sure they create a unified design for sure. Okay, so continue. So, but he said, if you leave these curtains open before Shabbos, just a little, there is no problem. And there is a note, and it says, note Hagon, Rav Moshe Feinstein, that's all. Right, that it's time-honored custom to make paroch a single curtain rather than two pieces. But as I said, the shul, yes, they are Orthodox now, but before they were not. And they're huge. Huge meaning gigantic, right, compared to others. Okay. Conservative, right? So one of the shuls are conservative, right? So that's the problem. That's the problem with the shuls to convert from conservative into Orthodox is a problem. Why is it a problem? The problem is because they did not have mechitza, right? So men and women would sit together. And in the front, they would have a stage, maybe 3 or 4 steps up, right? So, which is a very high stage. Even 2 steps, it's a lot, right? And it's common stage. So now, when they would have bima in there, so in the front of the shul, which is. I mean, it's not completely forbidden, but it's for sure in Orthodox shul you would never see that. In a sense, so it's more like a church or something. They would try to emulate. I'm not sure why would they do that, but that's what it is. So and bima is closer to Aron Kodesh, and basically even if you put mechitza, right, good size, mechitza, good heights, meaning. So even though you're not going to see women from a men's section, but when you're going to be called to the Torah, so you're going to see the women for sure, right? Because it's like separation does not go all the way to parochas. It's not. And I mean, if they would close in front, would be maybe a little better, but still, since you're on a stage, you're three or four steps up. So why is it 3 or 4? I'm not sure. Maybe 2 or 3. I don't want to say 4 steps. It's very high, right? So maybe 2 or 3 steps. So right. So you see all the women. That's the issue. Okay. Right. So next one. See, removing the prices from food. It is forbidden to wash off numbers that are stamped on food. This falls under biblical prohibition, prohibited category of erasing for an improvement, since the appearance of the food item is thereby enhanced. So in olden days they would stamp. I mean, maybe sometime, maybe in some countries they still stamp like a number, so the 4-digit number. So the cashier would know, like they would type this number, or if they do not know the prices. But in all of this, like vegetable stores, like you go and these cashiers, they know all of the prices. Sometimes they when they did not tell them about sale, they would not know, but they would say, oh, these apples, 1 second, 1538, right? Right. Sometimes it's 5 digits. I'm not sure how they remember. No, not 5, 4 digits, usually 4 digits. So, but they do. Okay, they do remember. Okay, so meaning to wash off this number. Of course, it's erasure, right? And that's the problem. And plus, you improving the fruit. So now it's more better looking. Okay, much better looking. Okay, so next one, D. Cutting wood food wrappers or stickers. So that's a huge one. That's very, very applicable. When cutting open food wrappers, it is forbidden to destroy any letters or a picture of the wrapper. Similarly, so for example, if you want a hot chocolate, right, or cocoa, right, on Shabbos, so you have to and you have packets, right. So if you have the normal one that you take with a spoon, there's no problem. But if you have packets, that's the problem. Packages, right? Small packets. So you have to cut. Usually they have pre-cut. They have and you pull and it's going to pull apart. That's the problem. Sometimes it's they would cut. You would cut open when it's nothing is written. But sometimes you would cut off the letters. So as we always say, take scissors and cut precisely. Look from one side to another side. So be very, very careful. Or another example of sweeteners, right? You have sweeteners, right? You have sugar. Sometimes you have a coffee. Somebody asks us called coffee. In some countries they have very popular. I think it's my guess. So people very not rich, and they would buy coffee in these packs. I think it's 3 times more expensive. Just buy one jar and that's it. So maybe it's my guess. Maybe they're so poor, so they buy in small packets. That's my guess. So when you buy it, so you have to be very careful how you open it. And same with other wrappers. Some wrappers they just fall apart. Some if you want to open the pack of cookies or something, so also must be careful, or chips or potato chips or something. Must be very careful not to erase anything. Okay. Similarly, when cutting the food sticker, cutting food that had a sticker attached to it, for example, name brand sticker. Name brand sticker, right? Okay. 1 second. Let me read again. Something is not right. Okay. Similarly, when cutting food that has a sticker at yeah. So you have, I got it. So you have an apple, right? And you have sticker, right? So you cannot cut through the sticker. Okay. For example, a name brand sticker on the on a fruit, right? On apples, for example, on oranges, they also put. Bakery sticker on challah. I'm not sure bakery sticker on challah. Usually they put it on a bag, right? So on a challah, I don't know. It is forbidden to destroy any letters that are on a sticker. So basically, I mean, the idea is like it's simple. So if you have a sticker, so be careful not to cut through the sticker. Okay. So next one is cleaning the foggy window. Right, it is forbidden to wipe away letters or pictures scrawled on condensation on the window pane. So in olden days when we were little, so there were like old windows, like wooden windows, would not fit, and only like one glass. What is two glass? Two part of glass? I don't remember. I think one. It could be two, but it was like from if you use a steam heat, right? So for sure, all of these window panes would have a condensation. So it like you would write something or draw something. So of course it is forbidden to do that. And if somebody wrote, kids did it, so it is forbidden to erase it. Right. This is general. So why is it considered right to erase it? This is generally considered a reason for improvement, since the appearance of the window is the window, or the visibility through it, usually enhanced, right? So that's the problem. It's like as we said in the beginning, like it's like we prepare the surface for like improving the surface. For example, if kid wrote something on the wall, right? So if you erase it, are you going to write something on top of it? I hope not, right? But you improving the surface. That's also constructive purpose and it's forbidden. One second. Nevertheless, okay, it is forbidden only rabbinically, meaning on the window pane, since the writing is not of the durable type, right? So next one, washing ink from the body. It is permitted to wash ink stained from one's body with free-flowing liquid soap. However, it is forbidden to wash up letters or pictures. So if a kid wrote something on their hand, there is a problem. Or sometimes people write all the days phone numbers on their hands or some information on their hands. And I knew people like that. I mean, like the guy would write, and then he would like, and then he start reading from his hand. I mean, right. So in this case, if it's like in ink blood or something, so it would be allowed to wash. So it's like a dirt. So you're not improving anything. All right. So, but if it's letters or picture or something, phone number, not allowed. And then again, he reminded us with free flowing liquid soap. So meaning the bar soap absolutely forbidden on Shabbos. Several issues with bar soap, but we're going to get to it. Next one, G, cleaning spills with a newspaper. So in olden days, what is newspaper? In olden days, we did not have paper towels, period, or they were very, very expensive and people were very poor. Right, so you would take a newspaper and that's how you wipe it. It's like instead of paper towel. One should not clean up the spilled liquid with a paper that has writing on it, since the liquid will erase the letters for sure, right? Or the erase, maybe it's not enough time to erase, so it is going to like destroy the paper and it's going to rip newspaper. So that's also a problem. So a spill, are we allowed to clean the spill? Yes, absolutely. So right. So and last one, opening a bencher, Berchas Hamazon booklet. If the pages of the bencher get stuck together, with the food particles that obscure some of the print, it is forbidden to pull them apart on Shabbos. So if this food, usually when you say Birchas Hamazon, and we learn in Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, when you start, when you completely finish eating. So why would it have food particles inside? But you would be surprised people do have it, right? And that's why it is advisable, even if you never eat on top of the bencher, right? So there is no homage there. So it's advisable to have separate benches for Pesach. It's not necessary. I mean, if you want to clean them, open books, and some people, it says in Shulchan Aruch that it's proper before Pesach to clean your books, right? And why they explain. I don't remember who. Maybe Shulchan Aruch said, maybe Mishnah Berurah, I don't remember. So, but they say because many people they eat at their table, right? Meaning they eat and study books. I mean, we don't do that. For example, in my house, we also read, we learn during the meals on Shabbos and Yom Tov only, right? But we finish eating, we push away the plate. All of the food is not there. Clean tablecloth, and that's how you eat. That's it. So we never eat like the crumbs would fall. But it says here, if you have a crumbs and they obscure the print, right, you're not allowed to remove them. And if the pages got stuck, also you're not allowed to separate the pages, because it's right. You can erase letters. Okay. So we stop here. So next section is activity. Chapter number 5: activities prohibited because they might lead to erasing. So it's of course it's rabbinical, and it's different topic. Okay, perfect. So okay, so let's do a quick break. Oh, thank you very much for pictures. Yeah, thank you very much. So let's do a quick break, 5 minutes, and we can come back on different subjects and answer these questions. Let's ask Hashem. So today we continue with laws of Hilchos Yichud, and in chapter 3, section C, and then subsection B, and subsection B2. And it says, our topic is a yichud of a man with a woman and her mother-in-law. So we talk about this negative relationships. So just quickly. So it's a woman and her mother-in-law. So meaning one shomer is enough. So right, because the animosity between them. And next one is woman and a husband's sister, and the next one is wives of two brothers. Next one is husband's daughter from a previous marriage. So we're in a second example. Yichud with a it's actually first example. It's actually first example, which is and it's not example, category. Woman and her mother-in-law. Okay, a man is permitted to be in yichud with a woman and her mother-in-law. For example, mother, not stepmother, of her husband. Right. So, so mother of her husband, and there is some other person. Okay, because there is an innate, natural, albeit very subconscious, lack of fondness between these women. So meaning that it's not like they're aggressive against each other, no, but on subconscious they like they try to share this man, and one would not cover up for the misdeeds of the other. So meaning that they would report what the other side did. Yichud, so as opposite, for example, of sisters, right? We said sisters, not going to work. Or mother and the daughter, also not going to work. But this one, a woman and her mother-in-law for sure. Okay. Yichud in their presence is thus not conductive to Arayas conduct, conducive, right, to Arayas conduct. So meaning this Yichud, yes, but nothing is going to happen. Okay, so because the mother / daughter-in-law relationship lack the spirit of trust that ordinarily exists between women. Very interesting. So you see chapter 2. So as we said, between two women, so it's not allowed to be these two women together, right? They're not going to watch after one another. The mutual presence of these women in Yichud situation obviates any arise conductiveness from that settings. Meaning very good in this case. Right, so meaning it would be allowed because they're going to watch each other. Okay. Consequently, each one would serve as effective shomer, if any yichud in any yichud with the other, thereby permitting yichud. Okay. See also A7 etc. Okay, no problem. So meaning a woman and her mother-in-law and plus somebody else, of course, man, there is no problem. Okay. Continue, like sub point. If the in-law relationship become terminated, it should be noted that the mother / daughter-in-law exemption of Yichud applies only while their in-law relationship actively exists, right? This is because the effective in-law relationship and not personal chemistry is what engages the negative feelings. Meaning, while they still this woman still married to this woman's son, there is this animosity. This chemistry is still working, right? Therefore, if the relationship commitment is severed, regardless of how this occurred, right? The mutual presence would no longer exempt any yichud, right? Meaning that they do not care. But okay, thus yichud is not permitted with a woman and her former mother-in-law. So meaning, it sounds a little strange for right, a little. I would explain. So meaning that this woman might try to avenge her son, right? Like if they got divorced or something. But in this case, that's not the case. As he explained, it's not. So meaning that when they were mother daughter-in-law, it was a problem. Now this daughter-in-law got divorced. So it's not a problem, meaning that the yichud is forbidden. Meaning this woman is no longer a shomer. Okay. Example: a man may be in yichud with a woman and her mother-in-law. However, if the woman's husband, there is a mother-in-law's son, died. Okay, right, or divorced her, their in-law relationship in halachically severed. And yichud with two women would be forbidden as with any other two women. So now, right, it's not that she's not a good shomer, right, but it's even different issue that yichud with two women is forbidden. Okay, so we can stop here. Very nice. Let's do a story. So, and it's I just looked ahead a little. So it's this story is not so obvious. So if they would ask me this question, I would answer a little differently. But that's why I'm not Rabbi Zilberstein. Okay, so let's do from the beginning, and it's very interesting. So it's on Parsha Acharei Mos, And the topic is, must students object to their teacher's heresy? But the answer, it was so brilliant, it's unbelievable. You have to be genius, you have to be like, you have to Roch HaKodesh to give this suggestion. You'll see what I mean. And it says, you shall rebuke your kinsman, right? So kinsman, you're a fellow, basically, right? It's from Vayikra 1917. The challenge. A group of students from a secular background decided to leave the high school and enroll in yeshiva. Their parents objected to their decision, demanding that they first finish high school and pass the standardized tests that mark the successful completion of their secular education. The students were advised to heed their parents' demands in order to ensure the peaceful relationships with the parents that would assist them in their religious growth over the years. So it's very interesting. Right, so this let's say boys, right? They discover the truth. They say we cannot stay any longer in this high school, in this public school. We want to leave, right? And parents said no, you have to get a high school diploma, you have to complete the study, then you do whatever they want. Okay, we know how parents talk, Baruch Hashem, right? But on one hand, the person who inspired them said you're not allowed to go to this high school, to the public school. It's better die than not to do it, right? So what these people should do? And they were advised to continue learning, right? To finish whatever these parents demand. Otherwise, if the parents would apply the pressure, first of all, who knows if they're going to go to yeshiva? I'm not sure until from what age you have to sign up papers. I have to sign up papers that in order to enroll, and in some yeshiva we try to enroll somebody, they actually required, it's like a bigger organization, right? They say only, so we can take your case. They told me we can take your case only if both parents sign that they agree. So meaning what? Meaning if a kid, I don't remember, like, is it age, I mean, of course, I mean, if a kid 18 years old or 17 or whatever, so I mean, nobody's going to tell him what to do, but before that, or 16, I don't remember the age, right? But before the age that you need consent of two parents, right? So if one of them does not sign that he's okay or she's okay to take the kid from a public school, put yeshiva, so they say we're not going to even try. Okay. But in another yeshiva, they actually told me that there is no problem. Right? They took the papers, father is there, father is there, they're not there, okay. So they actually enrolled the kid. Very interesting. So here, so meaning, even if they leave the school to go to yeshiva, it's not so simple. It's not so simple, right? Because they're still in that age that when the parents can protest and create all the problems to yeshivas. Okay, so they were advised again not to go, right? I mean, not to go. Finish the studies in this public school, and then go. And plus, it's like you see, they say if you do whatever parents want, so they might will be like a more supportive and assist in further spiritual growth. Okay, so that's the situation. However, as their knowledge of the Torah grew, so to these objections to the heresy, they were forced to listen to, right? So all of these teachers, right? So nothing changed. This book was written maybe 20 years ago. I don't know, many years ago, maybe less. I don't know, maybe less. But from lectures that were there, maybe 20 years, 15 years ago. Their teacher, who was Jewish but completely divorced from the Jewish heritage, taught them things that were contrary to the very foundation of our faith. So this Shmendrik, right, is teaching us that you have to work hard and only then you can be somebody. You need a college education. All these crazy things, right? and there is no God. You have to believe with science. Okay. They felt obligated to voice a protest, both to fulfill the mitzvah of rebuke and also to prevent Hil Hashem that would occur if they would sit silently and give impression that they agree. So that's the problem. So, and as we said many times, if you have opportunity to protest, you must protest. You must protest. Otherwise, you would be like you would be responsible for the sin that the person is doing, right? On the other hand, if they would object, it would make problems in school, which would jeopardize the agreement they made with their parents. What should they do? So this teacher is not going to say, "Oh, you're so right, and I was so stupid. I was so wrong." Okay, please tell me what else the story is saying. No, he's not going to do that. Right? These arrogant teachers, of course, professors. Okay. Right, so that's a big problem. Big problem. I mean, on one hand they have to protest. On the other hand, if they protest, it's going to be issues. Okay, solution. The Mishnah Brura 608 in Bir Halacha there says aval. Right, okay. Says rules that obligation to rebuke our fellow Jews for their wrongdoing applies only to those Jews who are basically Torah observant, right? So it says amisecha. So I have to rebuke somebody who knows that he is doing wrong. Okay, there is no mitzvah to rebuke Jews who have entirely thrown off their commitment to the Torah in Judaism. So, and maybe, like I'm just adding from myself, maybe this person was born like that. So to rebuke, there is no mitzvah, right? But to help him, like give him material, it's a different story. So we have to. That's a halacha. It's not a suggestion. The Rima continue. I'm not sure who is talking here. Maybe it's Mishnah Brura, I'm not sure. Okay, so it says, the Rima's ruling that one must rebuke a Jew for violating the law that is explicit in the Torah applies only to those who occasionally sin. Meaning that if sometimes he sins, so we want to make him stronger, right? However, if Jew has entirely thrown off his commitment to the Torah, like those who publicly violate Shabbos, or spitefully eat non-kosher meat. So he goes to the non-kosher places and eat. Or of course, this professor violates Shabbos, right? He's not considered part of our nation. So he's not, these people are not a misecha, right? There is therefore no mitzvah to rebuke him. Okay, so kiruv is a different story. Kiruv is not a rebuke. I mean, it could include rebuke, but it's not in this case, not in the Halachic sense. Tana Develi Yahu states that this verse, you must rebuke your kinsman. So kinsman is somebody that is close to you, right? Applies only to you, to your kinsmen, who is beloved to you and united with you in Torah and mitzvahs. Right, so you're amisecha, somebody is close to you, right? As we learned many times, is somebody is close to you in Torah and mitzvahs. Okay, there is no mitzvah to rebuke the wicked who are your enemies. Right. First of all, you're going to do it even if you rebuke, you would do with a hatred, right? And for sure, it's not going to get anywhere. A person, if you're angry at somebody and you yell at the person, it's not going to change. Most likely. Continue. Since the teacher in question is entirely non-religious, there is no mitzvah to rebuke him. The other point in question is whether the silence might make Hil Hashem, creating the impression that they agree. So that's a different story. right? So that's a different story. Rebuke is one, but even if they're not obligated to rebuke, now they it's still Hashem. So they knew the truth and they keep quiet, right? So all of the people around them might understand that whatever this professor is saying is true. That's a problem. Okay. We find the Gemara, Sota 11a, that Eov was punished for remaining silent when Pharaoh planned to kill Jewish babies, right? So could he stop that? Most probably not. It was, right? There were three of them, right? Four of them. And Bilam said yes. And this guy, Israel ran away, and Eov kept silent, right? He kept silent, but he was punished. Okay, here's the story, sorry. Three advisors were involved in Pharaoh's plan of let us be clever with them and kill the Jewish baby boys. Okay. Bilam, Eov, and Israel. Okay. Bilam advised that the plan was to advise the plan and was killed, right? As we know, right? By the sword. It's from Bamidbar 31:8. Eov remained silent and endured suffering for silence. So now he was screaming, right, in pain and from agony. Yisro fled and merited to have descendants sit in a Sanhedrin, in Lishkas Hagazis. In Lishkas Hagazis, in that chamber of hewn stones. Okay, so meaning silence is not so good. Okay. The Gemara explained that this punishment from Hashem's were midah keneged midah, in equal and appropriate measure. For advising the death of the Jewish babies, Bilam was killed. Meaning, right, he wanted to kill, he was killed. But how of punishment midah keneged midah, right? He was silent. The Briskeraf Zatzal explained that Eov was silent not because he did not care, but because he knew that his objection would not help, right? Because it did not help. However, a person in pain also knows that his cries do not help. Nevertheless, it hurts him so much that he cannot contain his cries. Very interesting, right? So it says that a person in pain, if he's going to cry, his pain is going to go away. No, some people cry because they have no choice. No choice, but because they cannot hold the pain, and sometimes they would fall asleep or something because they from crying very loud, so they become tired. So it's not like the pain went away; the pain is there, but the body is too weak. So that's the explanation. If the death of the Jewish baby would truly touch Eov's heart, right? So if he cared so much, he would have hurt. It would hurt him with so much that he would have been unable to contain his cries, meaning, but not be silent, right? Since he did not do so, he showed that he did not care enough. So meaning, if he would now when his own personal pain, he cries very very loud and show that he cares. The same may be said in our case. Perhaps the students must protest the denigration of the Torah to show that they really care, even if they know that their protest would be of no use. Of course, as we said, professor is not going to change. Professor is not going to change because of them. Okay. So, continue. Rabbi Zilbershin posed this question to his father-in-law, Rav Yosef Shalom Aleichem Zatzal, who rejected this comparison between zealous young students and the respective advisor of Pharaoh. Had Eov objected even though his objection would have been overruled, meaning that because it's 2 against 1, it would still have made some impression on a Pharaoh's court, right? Meaning that not everybody agree. So maybe right, they would think twice. Student objection, however, would 1 second. Would make no impression at all on the teacher or the class. So because they set in their ways, right? So when Pharaoh, I'm just saying it, when Pharaoh was asking the questions, he was sincere. He did, of course, he wanted to kill babies, but he was afraid maybe something, maybe it's going to fire back, right? Okay, right. But if these boys protest, so it's not going to affect the teacher of the class. The only thing it would accomplish would be to annoy their parents and jeopardize their chances in going to yeshiva, right? So that's all. They must realize that they are not in a class to study, even to listen anything the teacher says. That's a very interesting idea, right? So you're not there again. They must realize they're not in a class to study or even to listen to anything the teacher says. If they had the plugs in their ears and heard nothing, then they would certainly have no obligation to protest their teacher's heresy, right? Therefore, they must sit silently, ignore everything the teacher says, neither agreeing nor protesting, as if they had the plugs in their ears and hearing nothing. So meaning absolutely irrelevant. So if you show some reaction, that would be a problem. But no reaction, right? It's like, I have to be in a class, and that's it. So sometimes, this lesson for us as well. So sometimes in this situation, some clown is talking and have no way to go, right. So just pretend you're not listening. Okay. So let's stop here. So let's see questions. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so let's see the first question from today. Is it permitted to cut between the curved letters written on a cake? Cursive, I'm sorry, cursive letters, okay, sorry. Written on a cake, since these lines are connect them forwards to that. There is no problem. All of these signs on a cake, I think they're in cursive. It's not in print. Right, so yeah, between them to cut there is no problem. So next one. What about someone's birthday cake that is covered with sprinkles, but there are slightly distinguished sprinkles with their birthday age? I'm not sure. A cake like this covered with sprinkles, but also numbers on the sprinkles. Numbers on the sprinkles? I'm not an expert in sprinkles. But if there is a numbers on the sprinkles, so that would be a problem. When you have a happy birthday sign, you just cut between the letters. But if the sprinkles, I cannot see from here, but for me it looks like regular sprinkles. I don't know. Okay, but if the like digits, I don't know, somebody's 5 years old and you have fives there, would be a big issue, right? Would not be allowed to cut because you might damage some numbers. Okay, so next one is it says somebody's birthday. So 40 years old. So it would be a problem. If so, they basically on a picture they have two half of the cakes. Like somebody's 40 years old, right? Huge four, so it's cake itself. The way I see, I mean, I imagine like a huge, maybe a few pounds, one letter and a few pounds zero as well. So you're not allowed to cut this, absolutely not. Right? That's for other people, not for us. What is the name? Anna. Okay. Next one. So yeah, so these cakes, the cake that consists of two letters, is not allowed. What about the birthday cake? So we have a birthday picture of the birthday cake, and with the sprinkles, they molded, not molded, like created the number 2. So this number 2, you're not allowed to cut, but around you can cut. And if you want to give a child, let's say, child is not a good idea, to somebody this number 2, so you have to cut with a cream, put it with a cream, and let person, I'm not sure how they're going to eat it. I would say don't eat it, because unless it is tiny and you can put in your fork all of it and bite from it, yes, there is a way. But if it's like huge, like a letter, like a digit, and you have to cut with a spoon, with a fork a little, so it's not allowed. It would be 100% destroying. Okay, I know what happened. Okay, so I mean it's not opening like more. Okay, so we got the idea. So continue 1 second. Next question. Could I have a question about erasing? Okay, if one is in very hot weather, in very hot weather, okay, which chocolate would start to soften and melt right out of the fridge. Is the melting the entire chocolate plate considered erasing? Okay, so again the question: if one is very hot weather, which chocolate would start to soften and melt right out of the fridge? Is it melting of entire chocolate plate considered erasing? So chocolate, I guess chocolate meaning chocolate letter or something. There is no problem if we just put it on the counter or on our table and we don't do anything and it starts melting by itself. There is no problem whatsoever. There is no problem whatsoever because it's grammar. It's like you did not do anything. Yes, a person might say, yeah, you take out from the refrigerator. No, there is no problem. No problem. Right. And that's actually right. For example, you have a chicken, right, and since on Shabbos, right. So you can take it from refrigerator and it has jelly right around, of course. Of course, you're not allowed to warm up according to Ashkenazi custom, but you're allowed to leave it there, and it's going to warm up in a room temperature. There is no problem. The jelly is going to melt, yes, but of course you're not allowed to place it next to the stove or some object with heat, for example, like a radiator or something. It would not be allowed. But just to leave it on the countertop, there is no problem. So because it is indirect. Okay, very good question. So next question, would it be considered erasing to unzip zip of the hoodie? Just 1 second. Zip hoodie, if there is a design / letters or recognizable figure that would cut through the zipper. I mean, I think in this picture, so I try to make it big. Yeah, so this is a beautiful picture and you can see clear that the zipper like in the middle. So you have letters from the left or from the right. Yeah, they connect. But since the zipper in the middle, it's like it separates. It's something. If you can compare this, as we said before, you have a pre-cut like a cake, or you have a cake with happy birthday. You cut it in parts, and then put it together. I think it just occurred to me this cake, as we saw, like huge 40, somebody's first birthday, huge 4, huge 0. So if you cut it before, right before Shabbos and stick it together, there is no problem. So you can disconnect on Shabbos. So next question, Rabbi, if a person eats preserves / jelly from one of the species of Israel, how much would it need to eat to obligate bracha achrana, since surely the jam contains ingredients besides the fruit itself? So jelly and preserve are two separate things, right? Okay, so let's do from the beginning, and we're going to explain what's the difference. Person eats preserves / jelly. So preserves, as what kind of preserve? So if it's preserve, meaning that you see the fruit, it's one thing. If it's preserved like when they you use like the blender, like everything, or everything like a jelly, so it's different things. On a preserve, if you see the fruit, so for example, I don't know, what is it? Like say you have a grape preserves, right? So it's like my wife did few times. I think it was very delicious. Too much sugar, but once a year, twice a year, no problem, right? So if you see the grapes, yeah, and you know they're from Israel, so you say Bore Prichaetz, and then you would say this other things, right? So you need to eat kizayis. Kizayis, as we said yesterday, it's actually from, even according to Moshe Feinstein, from 0.7, I think, to 1 ounce, right? What was it in grams? I think like from 17 to 29 grams. So as he explained, if it's a biblical obligation or rabbinic obligation, right? So that's how much you need to eat. But if it's a jelly means like it is it was it's a one mass. So you don't know. It's like, I don't know. Maybe it's not a good example with the grapes, but let's say there was not green grapes, but what is it, like Concord grapes? Let's say it's very dark. So you don't know it's cherry. It's or it's grapes. I mean, if it's jelly, me personally, I would not say. I would not tell them apart. So meaning on this jelly, you would say shechakol, not parades. And on shechakol, we don't say that this 3-part blessing. Just so we know. So and when you say shechakol, yeah, you need to eat 1 ounce. That's it, in order to say the blessing. Doesn't matter. Of course, we understand there is sugar. Is it water there? Usually they don't add water, so it's fruits and sugar. Usually, maybe some other things, but that's it. Okay. But if it is preserves and you see the fruits, yes. So you need to eat of these fruits, kizayis. Okay. Very good question. So, but the sugar, of course, it was absorbed into the grapes. But so you eat a little more than kizayis. But after the fact, I think majority of the opinion they go leniently and they say, so even if you ate exactly kizayis, there is no problem. Similar example, and a very common example. Like if you have a piece of cake, you have cream cake. So this is it says, when it says kizayis of flour. So kizayis of flour, and this piece of cake, this flour, it's not only flour. it's a war, and then sugar and this and vanilla. I don't know where are they, and cream and jelly and everything. So technically, like many people would do just 1 ounce, like of the cake with all of the ingredients, and they say after blessing, as after Zionist. But of course, we try. I mean, even though there is such opinion, and there is such a accepted custom in the world, so we still try to eat much more than that, right? So you have like I even approximate even by a lenient opinion, like have like 0.7 ounce, right? Okay, so next question. So it's continuation, I guess, this as well. Rabbi, in my case, the seeds of the fruit are visible, not the fruit itself. So that's a very good question, because seeds are not fruit. I mean, seeds are edible. I'm not sure. So for example, in raspberry, right? So if you do raspberry, we still see that the species and the seeds, they call it seeds, right? So you understand it's raspberry. So if it's fruit seeds, we need to think about it. It's not such a simple case. I'm not sure if it's only seeds but not fruit. Let's think about it. So next one, because I have a question about Yichud. Is Naomi sending Ruth to Boaz an example of Yichud is not permitted with a woman and her former mother-in-law? No, one second. Going back. Is Naomi sending Ruth to Boaz? His example of Yichud is not permitted with a woman and her mother-in-law. But Naomi did not go, only Ruth went. So Naomi stayed home. So I mean, there is it was 100% Yichud. But the way I understand why it was permitted, why is what permitted? So he was not the only one in the granary. There were other people. Basically, a person. We must remember, he was very important person. He was the main judge. Some people say he was head of Sanhedrin. Even if he was a regular judge, he had all of these fields, all of these people working for him. So people like that do not travel by themselves, right? We have a rule, so he has to have minimum two assistants, one on the left, one on the right. So when one is sleeping, one is standing to his knees, you have another one. So there were people probably in the different rooms, like in the same buildings, but there were other people that if he would call them, his servants, they would come up on in a moment notice. So that's why it was allowed, the way I understand. Okay, so it's not because my mother-in-law stayed home. Okay, so next one question. Can a wife refrain from singing Shalom Aleichem during Shabbos if she's unable to contain her cries due to situation at home? Wow, that's very sad story. If can wife refrain from singing Shalom? I mean, many women do not sing. I mean, they can sing, but there is no such obligation for her to sing Shalom Aleichem during the Shabbos if she's unable to contain her cries due to the situation at home. Yeah, there is no problem. I mean, there is a different problem because of situation at home, but she's not obligated to sing Shalom Aleichem. Yes. Next question. A question about the story. Okay. In this case, can the students show some level of disrespect to the teacher in class while maintaining their grades? For example, actually putting ear plugs into the ears, or doing homework for the other classes. So okay, so we're going back to the story, and the story was, just quickly to summarize. The students who started become religious, and they're in a class of in a public school, right? They're forced to go to attend, still finish the public school, right? And this teacher is Epicurus, right? So are they? So they were told not to protest, but to pretend nothing is going on. So in this case, just continue. Can the students show some level of disrespect to the teachers in class, while maintaining their grades? I mean, this not going to fly for them very well. Teachers usually would not tolerate that. You understand? So they will fail them. Who needs that? As Rabbi Elyashiv Zatzal said, like pretend like you're not listening, right? So you're not listening, and you're not hearing, and that's it, right? I mean, if he's fine with doing homework, and we had I had like somebody asked me questions, so I said, but how can you do homework in? It's actually an issue. Forget about this. So in yeshiva, so I said, but how can you go do homework in the class if it's different subject? He said the teacher does not care. I mean, maybe he's lazy. I don't know. So if these students occupied with something, so he does not care. I'm not. I cannot trust that person 100% when he said, but okay, that's what they reported to me. Okay, so if a teacher does not care, anybody can write if they write like all of the tests on a good grade, so there's no problem, I guess. Right. So and the teacher would just leave him alone, so that's a different story. But otherwise, to fail because just because to annoy him, it's not correct. Okay. So next question, just to make sure I understand correctly, if the numbers themselves are cake and the white background is container, okay, are we allowed to cut through the cake? Given the shape of the baker's, the cake is not considered erasing. Oh, so it's container. Okay. So you see, okay. So if right, so that's that's correct in this case. So if there are two separate letters, like the digits here, they're cakes themselves. Yeah, we said if it was baked like that. If it was, I mean, I guess most likely it was baked like that. So in this case there is no problem. Sorry for confusion here. In this case, no problem. Somehow, I mean, somehow it's, but I said it because those are attached, right? I think it says "Happy Birthday, Anna" or something. I think so. It would be that it is. It is like attached to the background, but let's answer two questions. But if they're absolutely separate without like anything on the bottom, there is no problem. So meaning on the bottom it's not edible. So maybe like I'm just maybe speculating, right? So if there is like a tray, like metal tray or something, and there is a piece of paper and it says "Happy Birthday, Anna," and these two digits 4 and 0, there is no problem then. Right? Because it's not attached, right? But if it was like a cake underneath, that would be a problem. So I mean, no problem. I apologize. What no problem means that you can cut these cakes, right, to two separate digits because they were baked like that. Yes, correct. So next question. We have a hypothetical question. From the story that led to destruction of Beis Hamikdash, okay, that the man who begged not to be embarrassed, okay, Kamsa bar Kamsa, because the host was trying to make them leave, was a heretic. I would not say so. They were doing it for a spiritual protection. I wonder what would have been the best way they could have dealt with the uninvited guest without embarrassment. Hypothetically, if Santa Claus, Rabbi, came to one of the Rabbi Reuven Shlita live shiur, would he have to be asked to leave, even if there is embarrassment? Okay, so let's do from the beginning. Okay. So again, hypothetical question from the story that led to destruction of the Beis Hamikdash. So we spoke about this story some time ago, Kamsa Bar Kamsa. So the host threw him out, even though this Bar Kamsa offered to pay for his meal. The guy said, "You leave." He said, "Okay, I'm going to pay for half of your party. It's a lot of money." And he said, "No, leave." So he said, "I'm going to pay for the whole party." Like, how can you refuse that? So this host said, "No, you must leave." Okay. And this Bar Kamsa got very upset, not at this host, but at the sages. They were quiet. They did not protest. They saw everything going on, but they did not protest. Okay. So now go back to the question. That the man who begged not to be embarrassed because the host was trying to make them leave was a heretic. This guy was not heretic. He got very upset because the sages were quiet. So the situation was he was sitting at home, right, and then this servant of the host came and invited him. So even though they were enemies with the host, he said, "Oh, maybe he wants to make peace with me." You understand? And he went with a pure intention, the way I understand the story, pure intention. But now, he did not know that it was it was a mistake, and host also did not know that it was a mistake. So when somebody is begging you not to embarrass you, you have to stop. You're not allowed to do that. So it says somebody who embarrasses another person in public, if he's not heretic or something, so it has no place in the world to come. So why would you want to do that? So he asked you once, and that's it. Let him stay, right? Especially he came by himself, right? So yes, that's the thing. Okay. Okay, host was trying to make Leib was a heretic, right? Leib a heretic, and they were doing for spiritual. It's not. No, it's not. It's not for spiritual. It's not. It does not say that he was doing something. He was just sitting there eating with everybody else. Plus, if he would say something like heretical, yes, but otherwise, there is no permission. I wonder would have been the best way who dealt with uninvited guests without embarrassment. If Santa Claus Rabbi came to Rav Reuven Shlita's shiur, so let him sit. Maybe he wants to do the teshuvah, right? So this shiurim is not like a close for some heretics. Let them come and listen. Maybe they're going to change. So if he trying to disrupt the class, if he did speaks to Rav Reuven Shlita like a disrespectful, that's a different thing. But if he just is sitting quiet, maybe taking notes, maybe smiles, there is no problem whatsoever. So we're not allowed to kick him out, right? So unless again he makes some disturbance. So next question. Rabbi, would it be different regarding if teacher in the class were goyim? I'm not sure what it means. So meaning if one second, would it be different regarding the teacher? So meaning if the boys would be obligated to protest? Is it such a mitzvah for a non-Jews to protest when something is wrong? Logically, I would say yes. It's one of these mitzvahs, but in this case, not to get themselves in trouble and do whatever, again. So we see, we have to look at the whole picture. Is he going to affect something, change? No. Right? With their protest, they would annoy the teacher, period. And he would fail them, right? And that's it. So, but if you have a goal, sometimes it says there is an expression, choose your battles. So I don't. If a person goes to everybody head to head, he's not going to survive for a long time. So I have to choose what is important battle for me, and I'm going to stand my ground no matter what. And what is I can just let it be, let it go. So it's very important. It's very important to be flexible, in some things, which is not so. Again, so as the book explained, I mean there is a very small chance that something would change. I aggravate their parents 100%. Not a good idea. Okay. So next question. Rabbi, I wonder if the dress is modest. I think it's modest, yes. Would it be buttons in front of the waist line considered immodest? I don't think so, no. No, they're not, yeah. So, I mean, these buttons are the decoration, no problem. Okay. So, and even the dress a little fit to the waist, but if it's not too tight, there is no problem. Okay. So next, regarding the guest, I heard from Rabbi Reuven in the name of Rabbi Miller and from Torah's Vigdar that he was a problematic, and that the Chachmanim would not feel Chachamim would not feel comfortable saying Divrei Torah in front of him. It was said that the guest was a Herodian informer. Okay, so I did not know this today. Okay, so that's a different story. He was informer. Okay. Actually, yes. Yeah, okay. No problem. Okay, so in this case, again, if you know that he's informer, and you know that for sure he's going to inform, so what is if just because you kick him out, he's going to go and inform anyway. Right? So it's proper not to invite this. I mean, if things happen, so just let it go, and that's it. But to kick him out, I don't know. So continue. We have a general question: should we avoid all of the decorations with using stars of David? Since the sign of Zionist. No. The Star of David. I mean, they just steal things from us, right? That's it. I mean, they try to look Jewish, but the Star of David. We have a synagogue Star of David on every synagogue. Not on every synagogue. But even inside there is the decoration. You have Star of David, right? So yeah, so there is no problem. But decoration. But I'm not sure. I mean, we have one of the candlesticks, right? Like candle holders. Candle holders is a Star of David. There is no problem whatsoever. It's not Zionist. Zionists try to right. I have a question about marriage. I wonder if it's proper for a couple to flirt in private. In private, there is no problem. It's actually very, very encouraging. Absolutely, 100%. Flirt in private, yes. And it says that that's what our sages did when one student decided to learn from his rabbi how his rabbi with his wife intimate life. So he hid himself under the bed, and he heard the rabbi flirting with his wife. Right. So of course, when when this guy from under the bed, I think he posed a question, Rabbi, that's what you do? Like you're such a light-headed. So Rabbi kicked him out. He said, "You normal?" He said, "No, it's Torah. Like it's not like I'm interested in whatever you do. I'm the Torah, and I must learn it." Right? That's very interesting. Okay. So next one, I wonder what is the line between joking and flirting when people are in shidduch. So that's the joking and flirting. I think it should be to the minimum because of flirting, like it's already on a personal level, right? During the shidduchim, we try and understand if you're compatible. That's the main point. So somebody may be very funny, right? I remember one guy. He's a good, sweet guy. Right, I think very like sensitive, right? And he wrote in his resume that he's funny. I knew the guy. I previously in different minyanim. Is he really funny? I mean, I did not find he's funny. I mean, in a good sense, like but he was a very nice person, and he was famous famous for what? So every Friday afternoon, he would call, and I heard this report from others. Right? He would call all the local shuls, right, who are struggling with minyan, and he said, "Do you need me?" Right. So meaning, and he would and he would pray in different shuls, and sometimes he would from one shul. They start early. He would pray with them because they needed him, and after that he would try to go to another shul, because they needed him, like he was like excellent, could he read from Torah? I think so. Excellent gabbai, right? Excellent, I don't know, like counter, like amazing person, and he said in his resume that he's funny, and this girl I think would be a very good match, and she said, "Oh, funny? Who needs them?" And I told her, "Look, I'm not going to offer you just somebody. He's very," and I explained, but she was so astonished. He said he's funny. Who needs this funny? I said whatever I said, but she did not listen. And I mean, she got married. He did not, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I mean, he was trying. He joined our classes for a few times, but it was too much for him. It's something like that. Okay. All right, so joking again. Joking is not good. I mean, like maybe a joke or two. There is no problem. Flirting is not proper because now a person is not thinking straight, right? Especially they were like when they are in single for a very long time, and now somebody is giving them attention. That's it. The guy is there. So okay. So we have to be careful. Okay. So next question. Question about shidduch. If one has a conservative personality, that's good, and needs privacy, and the other party of the shidduch likes to host guests and have gatherings, would this be incompatible for them to get married? I mean, I think so. So one is outgoing, and another one wants to read the book and be left alone, right? And of course, I mean, let's say it's a wife, and he likes the guest, and he needs this couple and this couple, and sometimes this couple. I mean, we should know of these things, but they invite somebody for entertainment of the guests. Somebody is Balchuva, very interesting story. Somebody is convert, and the guest would ask him the question, not because they like the guy, it's just entertainment of the question of the guest. So instead of learning Torah, they're a host like that, right? Unfortunately, I mean, okay. And she wants to read the book, but who is going to serve, right? They say, where's your wife? right? And she's like, it's not proper. I would say it's not compatible. So this stuff like that you have to discuss before the shidduch. So he said, okay, but maybe once a month can we have somebody? She said, okay, once a month, or twice in 3 months. Let's say twice in 3 months. Can she handle it? Twice in 3 months, maybe there's no problem. Right, but every Friday, like we have every Friday, every Shabbos day we had in somebody else. I don't know, right? It was. I mean, it was of course the whole burden was on my wife. Understand? Because she was cooking and stuff like that, right? I mean, it's only in entertainment and try to get the people closer. Right, so we also have to take into consideration. Yeah, he might like the guest. I mean, if he's going to, let's say, if he's going to buy all of the food, cater all of the food, there is no problem. Maybe he wants to order waiter, right? Waiter who's going to serve, maybe that, and maybe he's going to hire the cleaning lady, right? Okay, so that's amazing. If he's going to do all of that, so maybe it's not that bad. Maybe, but if not, if he wants his wife to cook and clean and do everything, so yeah, so that's one of the things that it must be discussed beforehand. Like this, it's very, very important because some people, and here I'm not sure. So he said, who else is going? Like who cares who else is going? You invited to, like who else is going to be there? So because they feel bored, they feel like unease unless there's enough people, enough company. So all important people, famous people also going to show up. So now he feels good. Like the less people, maybe you eat all of the meal, all of the food, right? So why do you care who else? But there are people, like many people like that. They're afraid, like to be alone. They're afraid of silence. Like they have to talk every second. Like must be filled with what? Like just keep quiet. Just think about it. Why do you need to talk? Just read the book. All right. So yeah, those are very, very important points that must be discussed because it's only a matter of time. But one of the sides is going to explode. So it's, I mean, from my experience, it does not work very well. Okay. So I think we finished. All right. So, right. Okay. So thank you very much. So please join us tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to continue our class, Kosher Kitchen. The only thing I want to ask you, so to start class a little earlier, little meaning half an hour. So I'm going to send Beezrat Hashem this announcement. So 7:30, it's a one-time exception. One time I have, usually Thursday is very busy, but this Thursday would be very busy plus. Beezrat Hashem. All right. Good night, until tomorrow.